Aurora and Arthur Petrova, Pandemonium at Arthur's school play. On July 11th, 2019, the Springfield air is remarkably cold as Petar, a 48-year-old Bulgarian, lets a life-altering bombshell unfold. At 33 Falmouth Road, he declares their London time has reached its end. A move to Birmingham City Church is the spiritual message the heavens send. His blue glasses glint with a pious zeal as he outlines a future like a cage, ignoring the resentment of his daughter, whose quiet fury simmers into rage. The Lord provides a path, he proclaims with an unyielding and rhythmic chest thump, turning his daughter's heart into a jagged, cold, and utterly desolate lump. Maria, 42, stands by the window, her black hair a dark and silken seal. She wears vibrant orange to hide the childhood scars that never seem to heal. Her presence is a study in stoicism, her orange glasses reflecting the morning heat, supporting Petar's ambition even if it means leaving their leafy Springfield retreat. The orange fabric is her shield against the world's prying, judgmental eyes. She accepts this permanent relocation under the gray and unfamiliar Midland skies. She smooths her dress, the texture a comfort against ghosts of the kitchen's pain, believing this exodus to Birmingham is the only way for their spiritual journey to gain. Aurora, at 12 3/4, feels her blood boil at the thought of the move. She is fucking infuriated by the prospect of Birmingham, with nothing left to prove. She loves the rhythmic pulse of her home, the status she holds, the friends she won't find. To be uprooted for her father's religious whims is a betrayal of the most abysmal kind. Her pink glasses shake on her face as she contemplates this forced and unwanted migration. She views the upcoming move in September as a total catastrophe and social annihilation. "This is peak, man," she mutters, her French plaits tight like coils of a vengeful snake, plotting a rebellion that will make the very foundations of her father's pastoral dreams quake. "Birmingham is peak, Dad. It's a total shithole." Aurora screams with a hollow despair. Petar looks through his blue frames, his patience thinning like the humid evening air. "T.C. Luda, you are crazy." "We go where the Lord calls us," he retorts, stern and dismissive. He refuses to engage with her East Country slang or an attitude he finds transgressive. The conflict is a cacophonous clash of wills, a domestic war echoing through the hall. To Aurora, his pastoral dreams are just unwanted, nonsensical birds destined to fall. "Allow it, Petar. You're being a total wasteman." She bellows with adolescent spite as the gulf between father and daughter widens into a dark and impenetrable night. Harlow, the steadfast Dalmatian, sits nearby with a look of profound aristocratic grace. She loves the color pink and watches the girl with a loyalty Aurora has yet to embrace. "Goodness me, Aurora, your vocabulary is rather appalling," the dog thinks with a sigh. Harlow's presence is a stabilizing force, a witness to the family's fractured and volatile tie. The Dalmatian remains poised, her black spots a stark contrast to the house's vibrant chaos. She is a creature of habit, unmoved by the erratic whims that threaten to betray us. "I wish you'd refrain from such vulgarity." Harlow's silent gaze communicates with pace, while Aurora just glares, her pink glasses slipping down her flushed and remarkably angry face. Kiev, the ginger tabby cat and the house's primary antagonist, hisses with wicked glee. He is a stubborn creature, a notorious wanker who delights in family misery. "She's a right piece of work, innit?" He seems to sneer with a dark and cynical feline pace. Aurora glares at him, her fake fringe casting a shadow over her eyes in the kitchen space. Kiev is the catalyst for her darker impulses, a provocateur who senses the theatrical carnage. He watches her with narrow eyes, encouraged by the girl's desire to cause irreparable sabotage. "Go on then, girl. Do something mental," the cat's posture suggests with cold disdain. He is a harbinger of the pandemonium about to descend like a heavy and unrelenting rain. Arthur, the 11-and-a-half-year-old apple of Petar's eye, is ecstatic for the play. He is playing Simba in The Lion King at St. Albans, a role that will define his day. He is loquacious and dense, his green glasses reflecting the joy of a boy about to shine. He practices his lines with a fervor that suggests his performance will be truly divine. To Arthur, the move to Birmingham is a distant thought, overshadowed by the Pride Land's crown. He is oblivious to his sister's plans to burn his moment of glory and his reputation down. "I'm gonna be a legend, Aurora. Just watch me," he chirps with a proud and innocent flair, unaware that the circle of life is about to become a circle of violence and a harrowing affair. The family piles into the black BMW, the diesel engine rumbling a low and guttural song. Petar takes the wheel as Arthur sings his "I just can't wait to be king" lines, loud and strong. Arthur's excitement is infectious to everyone but Aurora, who sits like a heavy, resentful stone. She feels isolated and alienated in a vehicle that is no longer a home she can call her own. Petar checks the mirrors, his blue glasses catching the sun as they speed through the street. The car is a pressurized vessel of conflicting emotions where disaster and high drama meet. Arthur taps the window, his green glasses vibrating. "It's gonna be Pang in it, Dad." Petar nods, while Aurora's silence is a dark omen, a precursor to an evening remarkably bad. Upon arrival at St. Albans, the hall is packed with parents and a thick, expectant delight. Mrs. Saren Bone, the Indian Welsh headmistress, greets them with a smile remarkably bright. "Shmei namaste, aapke se hain?" "Croeso," she says, her voice a melodic and proud blend. She is a pillar of the community, unaware of the violent pillage that the evening will send. She guides the Petrovas to their seats, her professional grace a contrast to the energy Aurora emits. Mrs. Bone is a picture of success, managing the school with her sharp and empathetic wits. Petar shakes her hand, his blue glasses reflecting her warmth. "We are honored," he says with a grin, while Aurora scowls at the floor, the plan for total disruption bubbling like a poison within. Beside her, Mrs. Kirsten Howard, the Scottish teacher, adds her own regional flair to the crowd. "Failte! A bra bricht moonlicht, nicht for the theater," she remarks, her Gaelic dialogue proud. She is a dedicated educator, her commitment evident in the costumes and the painted scenery. She believes in the power of the stage. Unaware of the impending and violent treachery, Mrs. Howard moves with a brisk pace, ensuring every child is ready for their moment in the light. She is a beacon of encouragement, wanting every one of her students to reach a spectacular height. "You'll be grand, Arthur. Just mind your lines," she whispers with a green spectacled twitch. She cannot foresee that the evening's fabric will be torn apart, stitch by agonizing stitch. Mrs. Isabel Wells, the Northern Irish teacher, manages the wings with Ulster Scots grace. "D'ye do it? It's a queer grand evening for a play," she says with a determined look on her face. She is the backbone of the production, a woman who knows how to handle the cast's nerves. She monitors the children with a watchful eye, ensuring the peace and the order the night deserves. Mrs. Wells is a seasoned professional, her voice a steadying influence amidst the backstage spray. She is the guardian of integrity, a woman who will not tolerate any nonsense or ungodly play. "Now wisht the lot of ye. Stop that dander." She commands the cubs by the Pride Rock prop, awaiting the moment the curtains part, never imagining the pandemonium that no one can stop. Backstage, Aurora sneaks toward the sound desk, where the music and lighting are laid bare. Keeve the cat has somehow found his way inside, a silent accomplice in her vengeful and wicked snare. "Watch this, you ginger shit," she mutters, her fingers hovering over the player with foul intent. She plans to exacerbate the technical difficulties, ensuring the night's success is permanently spent. She tampers with the dials and the wires, a deliberate sabotage of her brother's schoolboy fame. She is a whirlwind of resentment, ready to set the entire school's reputation completely aflame. Kiev purrs, a low and vibrating sound of approval as the girl twists a knob until the audio cracks. There is no turning back now. The plan is in motion, the first of her tactical and adolescent attacks. The lights dim, and Arthur takes the stage as Simba, looking proper peng in his regal mane. He begins his solo, his voice clear and strong, a testament to the effort he's taken. He is the star of the show, the apple of Petar's eye, basking in the adoration of the crowd. He feels like a king, his green glasses catching the spotlight as he sings his heart out, bold and loud. This is the pinnacle of his Year 6 experience, a memory he intends to cherish for his young life. He is unaware that his sister stands in the wings, ready to cut through his joy like a jagged knife. The spotlight follows him as he prowls the stage, the embodiment of youthful and parochial pride, while the shadow of Aurora's malice looms large, a dark and growing tide that can no longer be denied. Suddenly, the music begins to skip and stutter, a cacophonous digital strain that fills the hall. Aurora has accidentally pushed the settings too far, and the track is now a jarring, electronic crawl. Arthur stumbles on his lyrics, his face turning crimson as he looks toward the wings for some aid. But instead of help, he sees Aurora marching onto the stage, an erratic and terrifying parade. "This play is fucking shit," she screams, her voice echoing with a distorted and vengeful sound. She has hijacked the performance, her anger a physical force that leaves the audience aground. "Patar's moving us to Brum, and I hate it," she bellows, claiming the very center of the stage, transforming Arthur's moment of glory into a platform for her unbridled and destructive rage. Before anyone can intervene, Aurora lunges at Arthur, driven by a deep and bitter spite. She sinks her teeth into his arm, a violent act that shatters the sanctity of the summer night. "Ow! You fucking bitch!" Arthur yells, clutching his limb as he collapses in sharp and sudden pain. The circle of life is replaced by a circle of violence that has finally broken its domestic chain. The audience gasps in horror as the Simba of St. Albans is brought down by his own blood-related kin. The atmosphere is pure pandemonium, a scene of chaos where dark impulses finally manage to win. "He's the golden boy, and I'm the ghost," she shrieks, standing over him like a victor in a war, as Arthur sobs, his green glasses falling to the boards, a victim of the sibling conflict she bore. Mrs. Isabel Wells rushes from the wings, her Irish cries a desperate attempt to restore order. "Stop this madness! It's a queer disgrace," she shouts, reaching for the girl who crossed the border. But Aurora is a whirlwind of aggression, attacking the teacher with a strength born of pure hate. She is beyond reason, her mind a fortress of resentment that has finally opened its violent gate. "Get the fuck off me, you old cow!" Aurora screams, her elbow connecting with a sickening thud. As the teacher recoils in shock, the peaceful evening is drowned in a deluge of adolescent mud. The play is a shambles, a disaster that has left the entire school community permanently shaken. As Aurora's fury continues to spiral, a force of nature, that has finally and irrevocably awakened. Aurora breaks free and turns her fury toward other children weeping in their lion and hyena gear. She strikes out at a young cub, her actions creating a climate of pervasive and traumatizing fear. The stage is a battlefield of unprovoked aggression, where the innocent are targeted by a girl who won't care. She is a psychological storm that has laid the aspirations of her Year 6 peers completely bare. A small child in a costume cowers in the corner, his tears a testament to the trauma she has wrought. She is a girl possessed by bitterness, deciding that her family's move is a battle that must be fought. None of you get a happy ending, she cries, shoving a cardboard tree over with a punctuated decree. As the school hall descends into absolute terror, a spectacle of violence for every horrified parent to see. In the front row, Petar and Maria watch the scene with a sense of pure and agonizing paternal horror. Petar's blue glasses are fogged, his son's glory replaced by a legacy of shame that will haunt tomorrow. Maria grips her orange shawl, her eyes wide as she sees the girl she raised transformed beyond recognition. Gospodin Pomilui, Petar whispers, his Bulgarian heritage surfacing in a desperate and quiet petition. Their social standing is shattered, the pastor's reputation in ruins as his daughter continues her display. They are frozen in their seats, leaders of a family that has collapsed in the most public and humiliating way. My daughter is a monster, Maria thinks, the orange of her dress reflecting lights like the fire to come. As the weight of the situation leaves them both paralyzed, their spirits broken and their hearts painfully numb. In the scuffle with the staff, Aurora accidentally knocks over a candle that sat near the wooden floor. The flame catches the heavy velvet of the stage curtain, and within seconds, the fire begins to roar. The smoke is thick and acrid, a dark shroud filling the humid room and signaling the end of the light. Aurora stands amidst the rising heat, her eyes glinting in the orange glow of the fire she started tonight. She looks at the destruction she has caused with a cold and hollow might. A girl who has burned it all down. The fire is a manifestation of her rage, a destructive force that will likely become the talk of the town. Look at it burn, she whispers, her face illuminated by the dancing flames licking at the hall's rafters. A final signature on a night of pandemonium that has finally silenced all the children's happy laughters. Fire! Everybody out! Move now! Mrs. Bone shouts, her voice cutting through the rising dark heat. She leads the evacuation with professional calm, her footsteps a heavy and remarkably urgent beat. Arthur is inconsolable, sobbing as he is ushered toward the exit, his Simba mane singed and his glasses askew. He has lost everything tonight, his performance, his pride, and the sister he thought he truly knew. The audience scrambles for the doors, their frantic movements a cacophony of fear as they flee the school hall. The play is officially canceled, the dreams of a dozen children crushed by a fire that has taken them all. Me play, me Simba, Arthur wails, the trauma of the bite and the blaze combining into youthful despair. As the smell of burning fabric and the sounds of sirens begin to fill the humid Springfield July evening air. Outside, the blue and red lights of the brigade illuminate the dark sky as they work to douse the flame. Petar leads his family to the BMW, his face a thundercloud of absolute and permanent paternal shame. He shoves Aurora into the back seat with a force that suggests his pastoral patience has reached its end. You've ruined everything. You've brought disgrace to our name. he hisses. With no more love to lend, Aurora sits in the back, her pink glasses reflecting the emergency lights in a rhythmic and cold pulse. She is unrepentant, a girl who achieved her goal at the cost of her family's dignity and a brother's trust. I told you I wouldn't go, she mutters, her voice a low growl that cuts through the fire engine's loud roar. As the school she once attended becomes a charred skeleton, a casualty of a war that has reached the shore. Petar tears out of the car park, his driving erratic and reckless as he exceeds the speed limit in his fury. He is a man possessed by rage, a pastor who has been judged by his daughter and a very public jury. The diesel engine of the 2013 BMW roars as they hurtle back toward Falmouth Road, the silence a physical weight. Petar grips the steering wheel until his knuckles are white, his mind a whirlwind of disappointment and hate. He says nothing, but the way he handles the vehicle speaks volumes about the fire burning within his soul. He is a man who has lost control of his household, a leader who is no longer in command of his spiritual goal. You're a fucking disgrace, Aurora, he snarls as they whip around a corner, the car's tires shrieking in protest, as the reality of the night's pandemonium settles over them like a dark, heavy, and remarkably unwelcome guest. They reach 33 Falmouth Road, the car skidding to a halt outside the house that will soon be the past. Maria marches Aurora inside, her orange clothes a stark contrast to the darkness that has come at last. T.C. Lude, you will go to bed right now, without a single fucking crumb or a morsel of food, she declares with a shout. Her voice is cold, her scars itching with the memory of the fire that Aurora's nerves have brought about. She points toward the stairs, a mother who has reached her limit, no longer willing to be empathetic or to care, as Arthur slumps in the hallway, his green glasses broken, and his heart a sight of absolute and inconsolable despair. Aurora says nothing, but the look she gives her mother is one of defiance, a girl ready for whatever comes next. Having written her own dark ending to the family Springfield story, a violent and remarkably tragic subtext. Maria watches as Aurora retreats, the house falling into a heavy, suffocating, and remarkably permanent gloom. Kiev the cat whispers a cynical well done from the shadows, while Harlow whines softly in the corner of the room. The move to Birmingham is still coming in September, a reality that no amount of fire or violence can ever change. The Petrova family is fractured, their sense of peace and their unity now something that is tragically out of range. Arthur cries in his room, the Simba who was bitten, while Petar stares into the night with blue glasses reflecting doubt. The pandemonium is over, but the scars, both the hidden and the fresh, are all that is left to talk and to think about. Harlow looks at Kiev, her pink collar glinting. This is most distressing, she sighs with a formal and canine grace, while the cat just licks his paws, a wanker enjoying the ruin of the family and their once peaceful place.